Hey, Gary here with AI Blogging, day 43. A quick update. Inside of Google Search Console, you can see that we have 62 posts currently indexed. And because I feel like we're making good progress there, what I'm doing here in this update is showing you some of the behind the scenes of what I'm doing with ChatGPT and the plugins. Here you can see I have the Show Me plugin, the Web Pilot plugin, and this is the first time that I've played with the Open SEO AI plugin. And what I just wanted to do is I wanted to see, compared to some of the other tools like a SEMrush or a Ahrefs, a tool that is used specifically or built specifically to do SEO or to help you with SEO and all the things that you need to look at as far as comparing or looking at comparisons with your competition and your competitors, and then doing on-page SEO. I wanted to see what combination of these plugins and ChatGPT could help me with. So I started off with this prompt: crawl and build me a sitemap for the following site. Of course, it's universeunriddle.com. Then Web Pilot kicks in, and you can see the response here. But at the end of the response, you'll see, please note, this is a basic sitemap, and the actual website may have more pages. So it did a quick discovery of the fact that, hey, here's one of the categories, here are a couple posts, and it just cut it off. So then I said, okay, well, now list all the categories on the site. And this way, I'm just sort of getting a feel for a discovery of a site. Of course, I know all this information already, but maybe if I purchased a new site or took over a new site, this is the kind of thing, or as an SEO, if I was working for someone, I had a client, these are the kind of things you would do with the tools if you were trying to get a feel for what the site looks like, what the site has currently, and what the site's going to need. So I said, okay, list all the categories on the site. It comes back and it does all those things. And I said, now count the number of posts. And it gave me the number of posts. And you can see here, it's still just using Web Pilot. And I said, okay, now show me a sitemap. And I did that specifically with that prompt, the language show me. So it would use the Show Me plugin. And you can see it said, I apologize for the inconvenience, but there seems to be a high load of requests rendering the diagram at this moment. So this is an issue of the Show Me plugin and the amount of people trying to use it. So then I came back up and I said, okay, redraw, and it did. So I went ahead, or if you go ahead and you look, it did say, if you're interested in contributing to the open source project that powers the features, you can do so here. So it's sort of pitching the fact that, hey, we're busy, but we need more horsepower. If you want to, go ahead and donate to the cause. But if you click here and view and edit this, this opens up the Mermaid Live editor. If you pan and zoom here, you can zoom in. Then you can see what it did and the idea I was going for. So you see home, and then you see categories. And I wanted it to diagram out, basically build a visual for me, a diagram of the site. But what it did here is it put home, categories, and posts. So I went back and I said redraw and put posts under categories. Here you can see it redrew the diagram. If you click here, then you can see the new diagram here, home, categories, and then it put each one of the categories in order: astronomy basics, phase of the moon, cosmology, Big Bang Theory, space fun facts. But you can also see that it just called each post, post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4, post 5, post 6, etc., etc. So I stopped there with that. Then I opened up a new chat, and here I only have the Show Me and the SEO Core AI plugin. And I started again. Give me a sitemap for the following. Here's a brief analysis of the site. And this is kind of where I wanted to get with the SEO Core AI plugin. But really, at the end of the day, this is just a distraction of what I'm trying to do. But let's go ahead and cover these real quick, or what this did. And we'll get to the point of what can the SEO or the SEO Core AI plugin do for us. Here you can read the brief analysis. It's pretty good. And then I went ahead and said, can you crawl the site and build a sitemap? Sorry, it gave me the same thing. Can't do that. But then I said, okay, great. Please make recommendations and a step-by-step plan to improve the SEO of the site. Here you can see it did not call a plugin, and it gave me some information and a step-by-step plan for SEO, but I had a thought that this was just general recommendations from inside of the database, or from the knowledge that ChatGPT currently has. And that's what it said after I asked it, or I prompted it, is this based on a review of the site or just general recommendation? You can see it was just general recommendations. Then I moved along and I said, what about the SEO Core AI plugin? What can it tell me about the site SEO? Then you can see here, it kicked off and it said used SEO Core. And you can see that it went through and it did its thing. that it's supposed to do. And then it came back, and we'll go ahead and minimize that. And it said, based upon this, create a sitemap, optimize pages and titles, improve site speed, do keyword optimization, quality content, robot.txt. And remember, SEO is a long-term process and it can take time to see results. We're seeing that here, and anyone that's ever built a site understands that this process takes time for everything to come together and gel. But I wanted to move on and really dig into the SEO Core AI because, like I said, this is truly a distraction at this point, and I'm going to show you what we're going to continue doing in the case study. But I just want to use these because we started this together to look at what we can do and build a site over 100 days using AI. And as AI has changed, or the tools inside of ChatGPT specifically have changed and been updated, we have all this additional stuff that we need to look at, but also keep on track or keep our focus on building out the content. But anyway, what else can the SEO Core AI plugin do? And what prompt should I use to get the most out of the plugin and improve the SEO? And then it did give me the things that the SEO can do, or the SEO Core AI plugin can do. And you can see here are some of the example prompts. And so I went ahead and went through them. Then you can see that it came back and it did an SEO analysis using the prompt, but it gave me some things from that post. You can see the post that I went after here. It's the introduction to cosmology post. The URL is down in the left-hand corner. If you open this up, you can see that the request from the SEO Core AI plugin was for the URL, which is the post introduction to cosmology, as well as the keyword is the introduction to cosmology. And then it went through and it did its thing again, calling the things that it wants to do the analysis for. On page SEO, you can see some things there. Here it says it contains 5 images. I don't believe that post contains 5 images, other than these 5 images here that are for the popular post. But there is an image on this page. There's also a video. There are also tables. And you can see here that is the one image that it has. And then I believe more tables, and yes, another YouTube video. So you can see this is the post right here that it was scanning, but it says your page contains 5 images. All of them have alt attributes, which is good for SEO. And you can see here, your page has an H1 tag, which is good for SEO. However, it doesn't contain the targeted keyword. The keyword being introduction to cosmology. And the H1 that I have is introduction and definition of cosmology. But I said introduction to cosmology, so no, it doesn't have the exact keyword. So that is either me feeding the AI and the SEO Core AI plugin the wrong keyword, the wrong information, or a misunderstanding of what it's looking for when it says the keyword, if it's just trying to do an exact match on the keyword. Off-page SEO analysis, you can see here it talks about backlinks. It says it has 10 backlinks already from 5 different domains, maybe, maybe not. Again, at this point, we would need another tool. We would need to go out and get a SEMrush, Ahrefs, some other type of tool like that to look for backlinks. And of course, here you can see the keyword analysis and suggestions for improvement. And again, please note SEO is a complex field, and these are just some basic suggestions. There are many other factors that affect your page rankings and search engines. So again, that is the SEO Core AI inside of ChatGPT, and the things that I did just to see how those two plugins work together. Of course, when we get back to the actual focus of the project and the case study, 62 pages indexed. Go back to the Universe Unriddled blog post tracker. We'll go back to Space Fun Facts blog post, and we'll get back into creating these blog posts for these keywords. I want to get back to using RankIQ as well as running RankIQ reports and doing that inside of Koala Writer. If you scroll down, I still have 40,000 credits left. Today is May 27th. I have time to use those, and it will reset on June 7th. That's when my credits roll over and reset. But I want to go back to putting in our keyword for our blog post and using this manual SEO optimization with these related keywords. And inside of RankIQ, when we run that report for the keywords, we use these content analysis topics Google likes in post, and we take all these and we copy those, and then we feed that into Koala, and then get our outline and use our real-time search results and get all that information, cited sources, and then come back to the content optimizer paste that in here and see what our grade is and the number of words, and then take and follow up and record all that information here in the spreadsheet. And then we will get back and we will focus on creating content and then seeing the number of impressions as they go up, number of clicks as they go up, and all the things that we can do to keep creating content out through 100 days to see how far we can go with this case study, to see how far we can take this using AI to do all the content creation. But that's what we need to get back to, is creating the content and getting it up on Grooveblog. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments of this video. Thumbs up if you're tracking and having fun, and I'll see you in the next update.